Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. This is Vickie with VJ Designs. It's been a few days since I've had a video up, and yeah, I've had a lot going on, but I have several Christmas journals that I've put together like this. I've gotten this far with them, and that's all. And so I thought I'd start with this one and just take you along with me and put it together. I'm not sure if I'll put it on my Etsy shop or not when I'm done, but if anyone's interested in it, just let me know. But most of this paper in here, I believe, is Artie Mae's, and I will put the link to her channel below. I love her papers and I love her channel. She doesn't do so much anymore. She's kind of moved into a different kind of crafting, I think, for a while. But she has tons of videos that she's done, and she's done beautiful work, and she has a lot of digitals, beautiful digitals. So I will link her video channel below and her Etsy, and I'm assuming she still has an Etsy shop. But anyway, I want to try and put this together. This little journal, this is a travel size journal, what they call travel size. It's only like 4 3/4 by, I think it's 8 3/4. It's not really full size, but I must have put this together a couple of years ago. It's been laying around, and I need to get all these journals made. I've got 3 or 4 of them laying around that I never did finish. So, okay, so I pre-cut. What I do a lot of times is take a file folder and cut it to size. So this one, I cut the cover, I cut 5 by 9. The journal is 4 3/4 by 8 3/4, so I cut it like a 1/4 inch bigger all the way around. And I still have some of this very pretty wrapping paper that I'm going to wrap this with, the outside, or cover this with. So I'm just going to take this Tombow glue, and it's got this, the bottom end of it is a wide, and hopefully this is the one that works. Haven't used it for a while. Here it goes. So you just get a really good, I mean, you guys, if you make journals, you've seen all this before, and if you want to fast forward, please feel free. There may be somebody who hasn't made a journal before. But anyway, that's one side. And I cut this piece of paper about, you cut it 3/4 of an inch to an inch bigger all the way around. Okay, because you want enough that you can fold over to the inside. And I just take an old credit card or something and just use it. This one's not very stiff. And just smush out all that glue. Okay, and now we can do the other side. And I put it on here rather than on a paper because I don't want to get glue where it doesn't need to be. Sorry about the rustling around. And put a little down here alongside the spine. This glue really works pretty well for this. Okay, so you can glue this side down. Okay, and I need to get a wipey because I don't like all that glue on my hands. Okay, so now what we need to do is what I like to do is make sure that gets glued down good. I snip the corners like this, not all the way. Leave a little tiny bit. I'll tell you why, is because sometimes when you fold them over, sometimes that corner will stick out. So if you leave just a little bit, then it will be sure and not do that. Okay, and I think this is the way I'm going to have it, my front. Not that it really matters at this point because we're just, right now we're just gluing the cover on. So it's going to take a little while so what I like to do here in the middle, since you don't want to just fold this up all the way across, because it'll kind of fold wonky. So what I do is I clip, like this one's angled in here. I angled this one about 1/4 of an inch from the spine. The same the other way. And then I just fold that piece up first, and then I fold these pieces. It just folds a lot better when you close it. I'm sorry about the shadows. I'm filming this in the evening. I don't have daylight coming in, and so I guess the lighting's not that great when you do that. So here I'll just put some glue up here, and down here. I'll glue this one down first. This doesn't really matter because they meet. They don't really overlap. Okay, and I like to turn it around, do the same on this side, and then fold the sides. That piece I got a little bit bigger. It's okay. It doesn't really matter. Hope you guys are all having a great weekend. This is Saturday evening. I went to a big bazaar, Christmas bazaar they're having in my town. It's a 2-day event, so I went for a little while this morning, and I found I was on the hunt for a new wallet because mine was, it was a zipper, and the zipper was wearing out, so that every time I would close it, the zipper would open. And I was afraid I would lose my cards out of there. So I've had it for several years, and it's done me well, but I was needing a new one, and I thought, well, I might find one there. Sure enough, the second booth I stopped at, this gal had, she makes things from leather. I think it's leather. I'm not exactly sure. Might be pleather, but they're beautiful. Her workmanship is beautiful. And I found exactly what I was looking for. Because I was going to have to drive to Billings, which I'm about 50 miles from Billings. I'm in Montana. And so I'm 50 miles west of Billings, right off of I-90. So if anybody ever comes traveling through and you're coming through I-90 in Columbus, give me a holler. I'll meet you. I'm only 8 miles out of town, so it would take me 15 minutes to get there, or, you know, whatever. But, yeah, that would be awesome. It's kind of a, you know, main thoroughfare if you're going, like, from the Northwest across the states. A lot of people come over I-90. So anyway, I did end up going to Billings anyway because there were some other things I needed, but I did take care of the wallet situation. I was very happy. And I like to support my fellow crafters whenever possible. Okay, so there's the first step. So this will need to dry. But this will fit in here just perfectly like that. And it gives a little room if we want to put something along the edge or whatever. This is a really good size journal. I really like it. So there we go. And so now we need to find something to put in the middle. And of course, I did not get that out first. And I think hopefully I have. I did get some red cardstock. And I'm not sure that's the right color red. I think that'll work. I got this the other day when I was at Michael's. It's Recollections, whoever carries that. I think it's Michael's. I actually do have some red eight and a half by 11, you know, and I think it's the same color. It is. So I don't know if this is. Yep. Okay, I might go ahead and just use that instead of cutting up that 12 by 12 sheet. I mean, really, doesn't that make more sense? So I'll just have to cut a little bit off of here. But what I want to do is cut this in half. It's not, it's actually a little less than half. Cut it a little bit too wide. Okay, that's what I want to do, is leave that spine open, and I'm going to put a piece of linen down the middle, because otherwise it just makes it too bulky. So this other piece, and you guys feel free to fast forward through this if you've seen all this stuff. Still a little bit wide. Okay. And I think over here I need to cut it just a teeny bit more because it's a little wide on the side. I like there to be, you know, it kind of looks symmetrical, even though when the book's open, you're not going to see the back and the front together, probably. So, all right. So now we can glue these down. A lot of people like to use Mod Podge for their glue. It depends on what you're covering your book with. If you're using fabric, of course you want to use fabric tack. Or some kind of a heavier material type, I don't know, some kind of heavier paper or something, you might want to just use fabric tack. This works perfectly fine with this paper. I'm trying to do it without making a huge, getting glue everywhere. This doesn't matter if I get it on the page back there because it's getting glued down there. Trying not to get it on my desk or on the sides over here. And I did manage to get glue on this side. That's right. Now I don't know what to do with my card. Let's use this one. Okay. So, there's the main part of the cover. We'll do something else on the outside too. This has to dry, but I am going to glue a piece of linen strip down the middle. So this looks like it's the right width. Let me get this out of the way. And I think I will use fabric tack for this part, but I need to, so I go to the top of these papers to the bottom down here. Okay, so we'll get some of these. I like the frayed edges, so we'll get some of those going. One side of it was already kind of frayed. Okay. So, excuse me while I reach for my fabric tack. I'm just going to go ahead and put it down the edges here because I know about how far it's going out. Try to get any loose threads off of there that might get underneath. Okay, and let's just put it down right there, down to there. Perfect. part of the, part of the edge can be loose a little bit if you want it to. It's like that. I want most of it to be glued down there, but yeah. So that's the inside. And I do this, it really reinforces the spine. And it looks cool too on the inside of the book when you get your signature in there. Like that. It just really looks cool. So, okay, that is the first stage of this journal. I need to let this dry, and I will be back to continue. All right, see you later. Hi friends, welcome back. Okay, so my cover is dry. It's a little stiff, but after time it'll loosen up a little bit. So I went ahead and sewed in the signature because y'all know how to do that. If you don't, let me know and I can do a video on it, but there's lots of videos out there. I do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. And I left this string in the middle long because I want to add charms in the middle. So this particular signature has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pages. So 10 pages front and back is 20, and then you double that for this side, so it's a 40-page journal. Okay, so what I want to do here on the inside is I typically put some sort of a pocket, usually this kind of a pocket, not necessarily vellum. But this one's going to be vellum. And I use Barely Arts for vellum because it doesn't pucker the vellum. Art glitter glue will typically pucker, but Barely Arts does not. And I will try to stay above this line. I need to move this tape down a little. So I think I'm in the line right there, or in the camera. So it's kind of hard to tell with this vellum, but this has a slightly shinier side. I think this is the right side. So I'll just put a little thin bead of glue along the edge. I cut out all my ephemera, got it all ready, because you do not want to see me cutting out ephemera. So fussy cutting is not my, that's not my favorite part of making a journal. It's probably not anybody's favorite part, but you gotta do it, right? So, okay, there's our pocket. I'm gonna let that dry for a minute and move on. Typically, I don't like to cover up when I have a pretty page like this. I don't like covering up. I mean, you can. We could put a pocket down here. Or what you can do is put a belly band. I'm going to think about this page for a minute. Come back to it. And of course I printed on the back sides of all these pages, so there's lots of room for journaling. I think on here we'll do something. You know what I didn't make a lot of was pockets. But let's see. I have some ephemera. This, I believe, came out of a Tim Holtz pack. It's a little big, but we could cut it down, make a pocket out of that. That'd be really cute. So let's just cut it down a little bit. Yeah, I found like a cute pocket. So I'm going to cut my notch in the top of this before I glue it down. And this is a kind of a hard cardstock. So I don't have to back it or anything. I think I will put a little inking around it. I did most of my little pieces, I did some inking. This is just vintage photo. Okay, so let's just glue that down. This is a travel size journal, as I said. And so it's not as big as I typically make with 8.5 by 11 papers, where you just fold them in half. Makes a little bit bigger journal. I hope the lighting is good. And sorry there's a little glare on this paper because it is kind of a glossy paper. And I'm going to turn my phone on silent because inevitably somebody will call in the middle of my video. Okay, so there we go. There's another pocket. Let's just go through and put some pockets, okay? This page, I mean, you can journal on here. This paper pad, this paper digital, this, spit it out, Vickie. This Christmas digital is from Artie Mays. And you've heard me talk about her a lot. I love her digitals. And let's see where we want to put another pocket. I've got several tags made. I need to do something on this page. So I think, not sure if one of these big tags will fit. Oh yeah, okay. just dropped one of them on the floor. I got too many projects going. Okay, so this was a pocket that she made in her, as part of the ephemera on this kit. So I just cut it out, and what I did, instead of cutting it off at the line, I just cut off the white part up here so I can fold it over, and that reinforces the top of the pocket. Otherwise, I usually try to put something behind. This is a little heavier copy paper. It's 32 pound is usually what I use when I'm printing off my digitals. So we'll glue that down. And then these little flaps here just make a little gusset on your pocket. You don't have to have it. That's how she had hers, so I just made it that way, but it does allow you to put, you know, a bulkier item in the pocket, or maybe a couple different tags. So that tag is really cute, and then it'll hold one of these tags like that. And it's a little loose, so we'll probably put something else in there with it. But we will do that in a little bit. Let's make some more pockets. I think what I'll do on this page is a belly band. Red one would be cute. And I know I have some red paper. Kind of hate to cover that up, all of it. What we could do is just put a little tuck spot down here. I think when my printer printed this off, it printed it off a little dark. This has been a while back, a year or so ago. So it's really a little more brilliant like this, the digital, but that's okay. Anyway, I'm going to glue this down here as a tuck spot. I just looked for some things that I had on my desk that I could use. I also pulled out my Tim Holtz ephemera pack that I've never really used, and we'll use some stuff out of that. I pulled some stuff out, so, this will make a really cool tuck spot for some things. And we'll just keep going and find a few more places for pockets. This is my coffee dye paper that I put in here, and I need to make some more because I'm out. But I think what I'll do is glue the ends of this down. And this will be a tuck spot here. We'll put a journaling card or something in there. Gotta be sure and turn it back around or it'll be upside down. That would not be pretty. Okay. So there's the middle. So usually what I like to do in the middle is put a pocket across the bottom. Could use this paper. Don't know if this one's not quite big enough. We'll just use this. It looks like it's exactly the right size. So just want to fold it in half. And I think what I'll do is just cut a very slight angle. Usually I make it a little bit deeper, but since this is a shallow... Oops, I didn't do that right. Doggone it. I did that before. You'd think I would learn, you know? I didn't look at it close enough. Let's do this. It's going to be a very shallow pocket. That's better. It is a very shallow pocket, but it's a pocket. Put a little bit up the center. Okay. All right. There's our very shallow pocket. Okay. So the other side of this, I think I will go ahead and glue these edges down also. Make another tuck spot. This is going to be very much a writing journal. Okay, so I think on this page I will do a belly band. And I happen to have a strip of red paper here. Just need to cut it off a little bit. So you can see most of the page underneath. Trying to decide if I want to add something before I glue it down. Like lace or something like that. I mean, I don't think this is going to be a really lacy journal. Well, let's just glue it down and then we'll find some things to dress it up a little bit. Okay, so there's belly band. I think I need to cut out something to make another pocket or two. Now this paper, when it came through, it made this black edge on my paper, so we will eliminate that. But I think right now I need to cut out some paper to make another pocket. I don't know about you, but I really don't like using the guillotine cutter very much because it's hard to tell where the edge is, where you should be cutting. And for me, anyway, and you have to go over a little bit more than you think you do. They're handy because I keep it right here next to me. Okay, so just the paper, the digital has, it looks like the edges are already, you know, inked. But when I cut it, I like to make sure the white edges are covered. So I think I'll put a pocket on here. And I'll make a little divot up here on the top. And re-ink that part. Okay. So now we just need to glue around 3 sides, make our pocket. Okay. And these tags I made are probably going to be a little wide. I might have to cut them down a little bit. One of them. Okay, I think we need, let's go back here a little ways. I'm trying to decide where I want to put this bag. I have, it's a silverware bag. You know, when you go into a restaurant, some of them will put your silverware in these long bags. Well, I keep them. And I'll show you if I can figure out what page I want to do this on. Maybe here. Okay, so obviously the bag is too long for the book. So I'm going to figure out where I want to put it. I think about right there. I could bring this up, make a pocket out of it. Yeah, let's do that. Normally I don't. I will cut it off and re-glue it. But I think we'll just go ahead and glue it down and just fold that up and make a pocket. And that'll be cute. So you can put a long, skinny tag in here or a bookmark, which is what I've been doing. Which is really cute. So let's see. Cut this. I'm going to ink this a little bit so we can tell there's a little pocket there. Okay. And go ahead and close it up. Like that. Okay, and then we will come back and embellish our pockets. And let's see, need to put a pocket back here. I think what I might do is go ahead and put the vellum pocket back here again. I like that. I hope you guys are having a fantastic weekend. This is Sunday. We had a great church service today, and so I just decided that I need to finish this video if I can. Vellum typically doesn't like to be cut by itself, so I'm putting something underneath. To help cut out that pull. So there we go. Just do a little bit of inking on here too. I could have used red on my inking, which would have been okay. But there are some tans and stuff in here, and there's tan on the cover, and throughout this, the digital, she's got, it looks like, you know, it looks like vintage photo around the images, so I just kind of keep it along with that theme. Okay, so we can get this glued down. I'll use my Barely Arts again. Get the right side of this. So we've had a really, I mean, our weather yesterday was between 68 and 70 at the highest. It kept bouncing back. I was driving home from Billings, and 1 second it said 68, the next minute it said 70. I'm like, well, make up your mind. I like it. Today was a little cooler, in the 50s, mid-50s. So that's just kind of the way it's going right now. But one of these days we're going to get blasted with snow. I just know it. But usually, a lot of times we'll get like a good snow in December, and then it won't do anything till January. One year it didn't start till February 1st, which is nice because then you only have a couple months of snow. Okay, so there's our last pocket, I think. I may do another one, I don't know. But, so we need to put something here in the front. And I've got several tags here that I've made. Needs to be, you know, a fairly large tag. This one will go in here really well. So I need to put something on top. For a tab. It's kind of plain. So I think what I'm going to do, I'll cut the big hole with this hole punch. And I have some big ribbon here. Here's my scissors. I gotta cut off a piece. I'll put through here. This is more of like a, I don't know if that'll work. It's too clashy of a color. Sorry, I can't do that. Let me see. Got a cute little bag of ephemera here. I can find something. I wonder what these tickets would look like. That's kind of cute for a tab. I mean, it doesn't have to be ribbon. Sometimes I just take a piece of paper and glue down over the top. I think maybe we'll just go ahead and glue this ticket down as the tab. I do not have a tab punch, so I have to cut mine out. I am very limited on my space. I have a Cricut and I have a Big Shot, and that, my friends, is about the extent of the equipment that I have room for. So there you go. That's pretty cute. Then we can, and then I just have stuff over here that kind of blends into it. That's kind of cute there. Needs something. You know what? I just started using this. It's drywall tape that you get at Lowe's. And dear Julie uses this a lot. And it's really fun. It's something different. And I just like the texture of it. It does come apart because it's drywall tape, so they take it apart and they stick it to the wall. So you can just take it apart. You could keep that and use it if you want to. I don't. But you can put that down. Just as a kind of a texture underneath. It does kind of blend in, but that's okay because, you know, it adds texture. I hope I'm in frame. We'll just put this down on top of it. And I'm going to see what this piece of lace looks like on here. I don't know. It's really going to add anything or... No, it just blends in too much. Okay, could put that. I wish you were able to talk to me and let me know what you think. We're just gonna go for it. Okay, so there's our first tag. Okay, and I just put another one of her digitals that has lines, glued it to the back of that. So we need a little something something on this vellum. Let's see what I got over here. That's kind of pretty. This is the Tim Holtz ephemera I was telling you about. That is so cool. I just need a little piece. Yeah, I think I'll just use a little piece on that one because it's got all this underneath that's showing through, so will not get carried away. Okay. And I just used Barely Arts on the back of that. You could have used, I could have used art glitter glue because it's not going to show or anything, but okay. So there is that pocket tag. So now we need a tag for this pocket. And I thought this one would be cute. It's just a smaller pocket, and I put an index card on the back. And it's got birds on it too, so we'll just put that in there. I'm not even going to put anything on it because I think it's really cute the way it is. Okay, let's see. This is a cute tag here. And I'm thinking that it needs a Merry Christmas stamp on it. And I think I have those stamps right here. Yes, I do. These are really, I got this set of stamps years ago. I've had this for years. I can't even tell you how long. Shoot, I thought I had one that said Merry Christmas. Let's see. Okay, this stamp, it's in a big, you know, clear box, and it's kind of in the shape of a Christmas tree, and all the stamps are this size. Maybe some of you know what I'm talking about. But I love this stamp set. And this will go perfectly on there. It just needs something. Can't leave it blank like that. I just can't do it. So we will stamp Peace on Earth. There you go. That's awesome. So I may be using these stamps more in this book because, yeah, they're really cute. Okay, so I don't really think that needs anything else. I mean, really. So cute. And this has got, you know, the bird with the little postcard. And so I think that goes in there really well like that. And what we could do is put a strip up here across the top for writing. Let's see, let's just do this piece. I think I'll just tear it out. I like to tear. I like the look of tearing. And so that this area up here really isn't wasted, we can just go ahead and put a piece of paper up here that we can journal on. Can be journaled on. glue that down. I mean, for these, you can use your art glitter glue or whatever. Even glue stick works okay. We'll just put that down there. Okay, there you go. So now that part can be journaled on. And this pocket here is calling for something else. So I think I might go ahead and put this tag. This was a pre-made tag that I had already. And I put a piece of this ledger paper on the back. Maybe we'll put 2 tags in here. And it'll keep it from falling out, maybe. Okay. So, journaling. I'm not even going to do anything to this page. I like it. It's cute. So here we have a little text spot. We could put this on here like that. It's kind of cute. Or what else we got over here? Since we have a Santa on here, we could put this Santa. I have this one, but it's the same Santa. I think I should do something a little bit different. Or maybe this. Let's do that. So let's glue that on here. Now, I will say these, I have a die cut for this. And this is a 2 1/4 inch die cut, and this is a 2-inch punch. So what I do a lot of times is I'll punch a lot of these 2 1/4 inch scallops out, and then the 2-inch out of a different, some sort of a digital, and glue them together, and it makes a really cute embellishment. I think it's adorable. So yeah, I use those a lot. So we will keep that for something else. And let's find a piece of ephemera that we can stick in there that will fit. How about this? Christmas greetings. That's cute. We could put a couple. Actually, I think I have a small tag too. Maybe I already used it. I think I already used it. Probably going to have to end up, you do go through a lot of ephemera even when you're not trying to use a lot of ephemera. You just need a lot of ephemera for these journals. So this is cute. Let's see if this will fit. That'll fit in there too. And then it has a little place for writing. So we'll just put that in there. See this little container? Do you guys recognize what this is? I use these a lot to hold things in. I've got my big paper clips in one of them. This is what gum comes in. I get these large gum packs. And this one, I put the overflow of that ephemera that I had from Tim Holtz. I put a bunch of it in here. So yeah, there's a lot of things you can use those for. Recycling. That's what I'm all about. Okay, so we've got more journaling space. And I have this little envelope And I haven't glued it together yet. I just wanted to show you. This was an envelope that was in Artie Mae's, this journal kit. And so I just cut it out. And so I'll just glue it together. These are really cute, these little envelopes. And then, usually what I do to make a closure for these is, let's see. I need my 1-inch punch. Oh, here's the scalloped. I have a 1-inch punch, one scalloped and one not. But I just cut one or two, probably one is enough because this is cardstock. So I just glue the bottom third of that below the opening of the flap. And then you can open and close it. And if you feel like, you know, it's a little too flimsy, you can glue two of those together. You could also put a brad in the middle of it before you glue it down, or you can put some little something on here. Don't have anything that's small enough at the moment, maybe, but this is going to be tucked in here. So whoever gets this journal, you know, if they want to keep pictures or notes or secret notes or something, just keep them in there like that. Okay. And then here's the middle. And that's a little bit too big. So what I need to do is put some charms on here. Sorry, let me grab my charms. I have some Christmas charms. And I thought I had more. But I think I've used most of them. I had some angels and stuff like that. So I have these cute little snowmen. Aren't these cute? So I think I will use a couple of these. Sorry, I forgot. I couldn't think of everything. I was trying to think, okay, what am I going to need to do this? I think I might have to do this in 2 parts because this is getting to be a long video. So I think after we get these charms on, we will call it good for this video. Let's see, well, I've got a candy cane and a Looks like a stocking. Maybe I'll use one of those too. Let's use the stocking one. Those look good together. I think so. Okay, so let's put the little snowman on. Hope you guys can see. So what I do is I bring it so it hangs just below the page. Make a knot. And I try to do square knot. I tie it 2 or 3 times. I think I tied it the same way. Okay. And then I cut it. And then what I do is take art glitter glue and I just put a dab of glue on there so it'll not come apart, hopefully. You gotta let that dry. So that's why this is probably a good place to stop, because I don't want to be messing that up. Uh-oh. I'm able to get this through. Okay, there we go. So bring this up a little bit higher. It's still hanging below the book. And this is waxed thread that I use. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but okay, so we'll cut that. I don't cut it, you know, like right on it, but pretty close. And then just put a glob of glue on there. Let that dry. And I think what I'll do is put this underneath it so they don't accidentally glue to the book. Okay, so I think we're going to stop right there. This has been, you know, a little over an hour. So I don't want to keep you guys too long on a video. So please click that like button and hit subscribe if you haven't. I would love to have you a subscriber. If you leave me a comment, I will answer you, because I go back and I read to see if there's any old comments that have been made that I haven't answered. So I really, really appreciate everyone who has joined my channel and subscribed and takes the time to just hang out with me for a while. Okay? All right. We'll talk to you guys later. Have a wonderful evening. See you soon. Bye.